I think that does it for all the major upgrades there are in this game. Though I could easily be wrong. I've certainly had an iffy memory during this game as a whole, after all. Okay, doesn't look like there's anything in the light version of the world in the fortress that's unexplored this far in. At least I know where one of the two remaining keys for this sector is in the dark world. Not that I fully know how to reach it. I guess it's the screw attack, but eh. Right, portal time again. Has anyone kept count of how many portals we've gone through in this game so far? Ah, my mistake. We're going through a different portal. As I'm going for the one closest to the second key that we've confirmed, though maybe I'm going for a different one anyway. Definitely gonna have trouble getting to it though, since I'm pretty sure it needs the screw attack to reach, and I've certainly shown I'm not especially good at that in this game. Again, I'm pretty sure there's something different about how it's pulled off here compared to the first Metroid Prime somehow. I don't know exactly how though, because I don't really remember it having so much trouble pulling it off with the first Metroid Prime. But then that game didn't have us go through bottomless pits to drop down if we screwed up, and didn't have an upward method of bringing us back to the previous platform out of nowhere after a failed jump in that kind of situation. That's the sort of thing that makes me feel like the game shouldn't have bothered giving us bottomless pits at all. Hell, think of all the Metroid games over the decades, and how many of them have had some solid environmental dangers that didn't involve a bottomless pit. That implies things should be more unforgiving than the game is actually going to be. And hell, it's not even things like Dark Souls that trained me to feel pits should be instant death. The far more family-friendly Mario Brothers series did that, even with their absolute first entry. And let's not forget the ever-classic game that's only called Pitfall. It is a classic video game trope. No matter how I look at it, it feels like the whole long fall and then respawn thing just does not fit. Well, I'm certainly regaining ammo at a decent pace. That's got to be worth something. And it looks like this room connects to several others that we haven't gotten around to exploring just yet for some reason. That would be a nice excuse to slow down the footage for an extended period of time, I'm sure. That being said, I somehow doubt that these generators are going to stop functioning in the time we're still in the fortress. If they need any kind of maintenance in the future, assuming the Luminoth even need to bother once we've won this war for them, then that's not on us, that's on them. Just like we're not going to reimburse these bastards for any of the terrain damage that was done while fighting for their right to exist, or replacing any of the anti-Ing weaponry we have destroyed in order to fight against the Ing. How many times have I said these more terrible bastards need some kind of health bar, since it's such an investment in time to bring them down? Sure, I could probably get things done faster if I used one of the two special beams we have, but still, it's like the game tried to go out of its way to make the power beam less effective overall against everything in the game to try to make the other two beams more tempting. And the people making it couldn't have expected anyone would be so utterly turned off by the beams having ammo limitations. Granted, most shooters have ammo limits, but those games don't generally make their foes able to take this much of a sustained punishment. Hell, I've known bosses in other first-person shooters that could take less of an absolute pounding than the Ing Smashers in this fortress, and the Ing Smashers are most definitely not treated as a boss-style enemy in this game. Not even the first time we ran into them. possibly should have just fast-forwarded past that fight against this thing since we've already destroyed a number of Ink Smashers already, but we're in relatively new territory, or at least not territory we've gone through from the dark version of the world just yet. If I let myself fast-forward through fights against enemies like that, then I might be tempted to just fast-forward all the way to the end of the game. Sure, that would be merciful for me on the commentary side of things, but I can't help feeling I'd be sacrificing too much of the flow of the game. Though it's possible that nobody other than me cares about that sort of thing, especially this many clips into this game. Ah well, it certainly didn't take us long to save since last time. I kinda wish we'd done something more worthwhile before the save, though. Speaking of worthwhile, apparently we just triggered a cutscene of some kind. Huh. I didn't mean to activate that ammo station, partly because I didn't even know that ammo station existed. I thought that crystal was just another of those things that generates the healing fields. Is it my fault for not noticing that crystal was just a bit different, or the game's fault for not doing a good enough job of conveying what is in the room? Hell, I have no clue if that red beam of light in the room is something important or just another odd bit of decoration. Anyway, on to the third unexplored door. Well, that's certainly quite the swarm in here. They certainly aren't giving us much in terms of items, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely not a lot of item drops from those things despite how many we took down. Though maybe I'm just greedy for healing items when we've been getting our health drained at a damn near constant pace in this game, unless we're constantly in a healing field. Well, that's a bit of a different take on the usual swarmers we run into. Most become a mild, inconvenient roadblock. These ones just turn into small missiles when we're close enough to them, which, to be fair, is a nice way to make the swarm of weak bastards feel scary, just coming right at our face. Why the hell weren't we introduced to these things earlier in the game, though? They just feel out of place this far in. That's certainly quite a few gas bags I have to worry about on the way over there. At least those aren't damage sponges, still. Can't help finding it ridiculous that somehow we're still damaged by poison gas when we have a suit that's supposed to be resistant to the especially toxic atmosphere of dark aether. Right. Too much to hope that I'd manage to make it across that gap in one try. And it's apparently just a little more absurd that I thought there might be some other means of making progress in this direction. Yeah, shouldn't have even bothered trying to see an alternate way across when I damn well know the only way is the screw attack. Still, can you blame me for wanting to make sure there aren't any other options when we've had so much trouble with the screw attack so far? Right, fast forwarding again. This is just depressing, especially considering how close we are to the end of the game. I know me giving up on making it over that gap is probably going to just extend how long the game is going to be in the long run, but the fact is that I just don't have it in me right now to go through something by sheer force of will instead of skill. And it most certainly doesn't feel like skill considering the sheer number of times I keep failing to pull off the timing for repeated jumps in midair. Hell, sometimes I don't even have the timing to pull it off the first time all too often. And you have to get it right every time you hit that frickin' button. Seriously, I have been failing so often, I'm almost considering trying to make a games journalist job or something. I know. That's a bit of a iffy joke, and good God, do I hope that joke becomes especially dated at some point. But still. Yeah, definitely gave up on that part of the map for now. I suppose we'll be back to it eventually, though. Well, at least I got the timing for that jump right. And another bit of portal walking. Definitely getting the feeling that this is going to be one of the shorter clips of this LP. Still, I suppose after exploring some untouched ground, there was some level of progress here. I swear, this game just does a good job of slowing things down to a demoralizing degree, and it's amazing I managed to record from beginning to end for it considering all of my issues with it. Issues that I hope won't be a thing when we get to Metroid Prime 3, but it's impossible to say for sure until I get there, especially when it comes to my memory issues when it comes to the Metroid Prime games. Really? Not a single healing item from that set of crates? Well, at least the others gave me something, but still, item drops just feel all too rare considering how much damage we can take just from standing in the wrong bit of air here. How many times have I mentioned that as a major annoyance in this game? I swear I've got so many dead horses I've been beaten on in this game that I may as well change the stable into a graveyard. Well, at least it looks like we can make some progress in this direction so we can slow things down again. We'll see how long that lasts. Okay, so the terrain in this room is reasonably different from the light side version of it. It doesn't change the fact that we've been going through palette-swapped terrain to such a degree, I'm tempted to compare this game to the original Mass Effect and not in a favorable way. Okay, how the hell did I even think that walking into the intimidating light from the crown might be a good idea? We can't even scan the damn thing to figure out what it could be possibly doing. And considering how scannable things typically are in this and the previous game, it feels like some of the things in this game are unscannable just because I got lazy. Well, one of those two keys is just outside of this room. It's just gonna be a pain in the ass to get to it. Bloody hell, this game has just an excruciating amount of padding to it. Again, I don't think the Switch version is gonna solve all the problems I have with Metroid Prime 2, since those problems are just far too fundamental. Ah, Well, hello there. Wish I could say you guys are intimidating, but really all you have going for you are looks. I'm more scared of the air you breathe than the attacks you can throw at us. And of course, they don't even try to use their numbers advantage. Not that two of these things are all that scary, but come on! We're this far into the game. This is the second to last sector. Yeah, definitely not much of a roadblock compared to a lot of the things we've dealt with in this franchise. Just how many times have I mentioned that the Ing are amazingly underwhelming despite the lore surrounding them? Okay, so we've got another ammo station. Am I supposed to be worried about whatever we're supposed to use all that ammo against here? Because, really, I'm looking forward to whatever the next boss is going to be. At the very least, that'll be more interesting than seeing me constantly wandering around, hoping to get lucky and gain something instead of just preferably spinning my wheels for an extended period of time. That red door is probably going to lead to another save point, so may as well end the clip when we get there. We went through a good number of rooms in this clip that were fresh for us, but didn't really get anything that I would call solid progress. Hopefully that will happen by the next clip. But with the sheer number of clips we've gone through, I wouldn't be surprised if I've said that same thing numerous times before. We are 37 clips into this game after all, and with the amount of raw footage left, we will certainly break the 40 clip mark. Really wish I could feel satisfied when hearing the "you opened it" jingle. I'm afraid it just doesn't do it for me, even if I know it's supposed to be a pleasant little thing to hear as we accomplish something.